Yeah, but it might also resume it too. So let's see how this goes. Let's see if it says resuming receiving content. You're right. Okay, guys.
Shit.
Is it back?
It did resume it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I think it did.
It says 0 watching at the moment. So.
Wow, I can't believe it actually resumed it after that time.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah. And the stream has got good FPS on it too.
All right. We've lost all the people, but, you know, let me reissue the tweet.
Yeah.
Tweet that. CV that.
Wait. No, the stream has gone to 1 hour 24 minutes with a countdown timer.
Okay, so it's finished, has it? So this is a separate video?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have a look at it tomorrow when it finishes buffering. But let's keep going because it's it's like saying 1 minute 38. So maybe it is a new stream. Who knows? All right, guys. So yeah, there will be maybe a part 1, part 2, or maybe it'll resume. We're not quite sure. Let's jump into it and let's keep going with the news. So if this is part 2, we'll find out tomorrow, obviously. Then at the end of the day, there is a part 1. If not, it's resumed. Good day. So let's jump into it. Danish imam calls for the final solution. Jihad necessitates the Muslim invasion and conquest of Europe. I really should have read this article before we decided to talk about it. But let's keep going because we've already started. Imam Muhammad Abahada, I might be mispronouncing that, and Masad Afrok Mosque in Copenhagen is calling for a new Islamic conquest in Alcahas and Bacchus and to Rome, and fulfilling the promise of Prophet Muhammad. Jihadi necessitates the Muslim invasion and conquest of Europe, Abdal told his followers. The final solution to the problem of Lebanon after the establishment of the Caliphate and the elimination of the Jewish entity will be through the conquest of Europe. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It gets better. Jews are hasting their own annihilation by their own ramping, their filth, their villainous, which reflected the immeasurable nature of the Jews. The imam added that he's not racist, but that he has to do with the Jewish character and psyche with that sick Jew mentality. I am just going to say now, YouTube, before you strike this video, this is not me saying this, okay? I am reading a news article from your beloved religion that you want to protect so much. I'm just saying, yeah, this is the religion of peace. So, enjoy, I suppose. But let's keep going. The video message was released in 2017 but has now been made public and translated by the Middle Eastern Media Research Institute, MEMRI, a week following he's been charged with hate speech for calling to kill Jews. In the video, he lays out a plan where Muslims can conquer Europe entirely and deliver a final blow to the villainous of the Jewish people. Holy shit, this guy is so freaking anti-Semitic. This guy makes Hitler look like a fucking leftist. Holy shit. Anyway.
Yeah. This is holy shit.
Yeah. Charged with hate speech last week, the imam translated a Friday sermon on Imam Halami where it recreated the anti-Semitic Ethe and about the prophecy of the rock and the tree. This is the first time under new criminal code of such charges being brought in Denmark. The imam who lives in Lebanon and is Lebanon and has a family in Denmark claims the charges of hate speech is conspiracy and that he is innocent. How are you claiming he is innocent? What, they translated this wrong? Holy shit, I'm going to get a friggin' community guideline strike just for talking about this video. But anyway, he's previously made statements that Muslims will regain power, and when they do, they will erase and obliterate Israel and all the US bases in the region. Upon initially construction last year of charges against him, he claimed politicians in the West and the media never stop attacking Islam and Muslims. Oh, wow. Really? You're going to go there? Their propaganda never stops. Muslims are the real victims, not others. Our women are being attacked. Our mosques are being burnt. Really? Because at the moment, I'm thinking it's a whole bunch of Christians that got shot in a bus. But anyway. Okay, so... yeah, and then just linked article after article after article debunking everything that he says. So, yeah, okay. Very quickly and very briefly. Yeah. Thoughts?
Well, here's the thing. What I've never understood... Oh, God, I can't say
really
anything right now. Yes, basically, Islam doesn't like the Jews. I mean, that's kind of like a historical thing. We all know
there's a lot of history there.
So he might be right about that. There's a lot of history there, yeah. So there's no way it ends well for Israel if Islam takes over the world.
No, this is where I have a problem with, for example, the alt-right that goes on saying about, for example, that it's a conspiracy of sorts. But my argument is why would people go through and hasten that? But that's another topic for another day, for when we have somewhat left of a shield. I would just say that, I mean, in a world where one or the other takes over, or like the West, basically, it's better for the West to have a grip on the world. Yes,
I would just say that.
Yeah, and at the end of the day,
it's better for everyone.
Do I think that he is anti-Semitic? Yeah. Do I think he is a racist? Yeah. Do I think he hates the Jewish population? Yeah. Am I surprised? No. This is what we've been saying, for example, when people go on about, it's the Islam of religion of... No, it's not the religion of peace, people. Okay? They're not giving out a bunch of flowers. So, yeah. Like, listen to this guy. Literally, the words coming out of his own mouth. He is more anti-Semitic than Hitler. But... let's keep going. Online trolls face ban from public office under government plans. The government is to consult on the idea as a part of moving to tackle the real problem of abuse and intimidation of candidates. Right, sure. Online trolls convicted of intimidating election candidates face being barred from standing from public office themselves under a government crackdown. I wonder who this is aimed at. New legislation would target those found guilty of threatening or abusive behaviour, either in person or online, towards those trying to become an MP or campaigners work for them. The move, which will close a loophole in the law, comes after a report on imitation in public life found that social media was the most significant factor in the harassment, abuse and imitation of candidates during the 2017 election. The abuse included threats of physical and sexual violence as well as damage to property. Under the plans, there will be a strengthening of measures to tackle fake news, with the requirements for imprints showing who is responsible for election meddling to digitally communicate being extended. Oh, really? This has nothing to do with online harassment. This is a load of crap. But anyway, the government is...
this article rubbish.
Yeah. By the way, guys, this is written from Sky News, so it's somewhat... Still, it's Sky News. It's still part of the establishment. The government is also seeking views on clarifying the electoral offence of having under the influence on voters when people are threatening an effort to try and influence how they vote. Look, obviously, at the end of the day, I'm not going to go through and read the whole thing. So basically what they want to do now is make it so that if you have been charged with harassing an electoral campaigner, you are no longer able to stand for office. Am I surprised by this? No. Okay, is your stream dropping out still? Mine just dropped again.
Yeah, there's a bit of dropping here and there. Yeah, there's a bit of dropping.
Alright. But yeah, sorry guys, I can't do anything about it unless I go and rob someone's internet. Yeah, it's all I can do really. But look, at the end of the day, guys, look, yeah, this is just them going through and trying to stop people like Sargon. This is trying to stop the populist movement. I reckon they've seen the stuff going on with UKIP. They're like, holy shit, we got a whole bunch of YouTubers that are starting to come into the political sphere and they're going to cause waves. They are not a part of the establishment and they are going to cause a hell of a mess. For them anyway. And I think this is...
Yeah, this is how you stop them.
Yeah, this is how you stop it. What will happen is you will get a whole bunch of people who turn around and say things like, oh, he harassed me, so therefore we're going to file charges. It's going to be a whole bunch of frivolous charges trying to stop people from getting into public opinion or public life. So, yeah, I would say that at the end of the day, this is just them basically trying to stop this, and hopefully this rule won't go through, and hopefully we can we can stop this, because this is more about stopping people like me, Sargon, Satellite Discontent, anybody who speaks in political sphere, Lauren Southern, Stephen Molyneux, whatnot, from running for office. That's all that's about. And I would say this is more probably about Sargon, Paul Joseph Watson, Count Dankula going into UKIP. This is what I reckon this is coming off on. What do you reckon?
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head on that.
Can you still hear me?
If they put something through to stop people who are trolling on the internet, yeah, I can still hear you, yeah. Basically, yeah, this is a good way to stop the new people in UKIP from getting any power. They're deathly afraid of him.
Yeah, I would say so too. Let's keep going, because I want to try and get the stream done and figure out what the hell's going on with my internet all of a sudden. Because it's weird. We start talking about these sort of sensitive topics, and all of a sudden we have problems streaming. It's weird like that, isn't it? But let's keep going. France, migrants arrested after middle-aged woman gang raped on World Cup night. Cultural enrichment, maybe? I don't know at this point. 4 migrant men have been arrested after a middle... Yeah. 4 migrant men have been arrested after a middle-aged woman was culturally enriched on the night of France World Cup win. The woman was found... the woman found with badly swollen face in the comments of our Odin and Lord Otina department for the following morning. Obist France reports. Locals were horrified at the crime, and an atmosphere of mistrust is said to have been settled on Octon when your stream keeps dropping out. Yep. With some female residents telling journalists they now afraid to go jogging in the evening. One man organised a very dignified silent march which drew around 250 people who wanted to support the woman to say no violence. According to local mayor Aken Braun, who participated. 4 from Romania, one who was traced through his DNA, have been arrested and detained, although the reports do not indicate whether the Romanian or the members of the country's Romanian gypsy community or Romania or whom have displaced across Western and Northern Europe since European Union extended free movement immigration to Southeast Europe in 2014. So apparently he was Romanian, which is, I must admit, I'm surprised. What do you reckon? Do you reckon he would have been from Romania, or do you reckon he might have been from some other country and moved to Romania, then moved to France?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I reckon at the end of the day, he's probably not going to be Romanian. I never heard of many Romanian having a distaste for women.
No. If anything, they like women.
Yeah. Am I roboting for you, or am I fine?
Yeah, you're roboting. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, someone just wrote in comment, just wear a burqa while going jogging. Yeah, but that's literally not the right thing to do, though, is it? That's kowtowing to them. But anyway, do you want?
I'm doing my best to understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it's hard. All right, do you want to? Let's do the Intel story, and we'll wrap it up, and we'll put up some more videos later today.
So
guys.
All right. Well, yeah. The Intel story. Okay. So let me get my information there.
Yep.
All right.
I am listening.
So the first thing that happened was. All right. Okay. All right, guys. So the first thing that happened was that the Intel CEO, and I'll get the story up on the screen for you. For me, sorry. All right, Brian Kurzanik was the chief executive officer, and he had a consensual relationship with an employee. The problem is that it's a violation of the company's policies. So they ended up forcing him out, basically, and he's no longer the CEO of Intel. Now, at the same time this happened, obviously there was a drop in the share price. The thing is that this is not the only bad thing that happened for Intel to drop their share price. They also announced a delay for the 10 nanometer Cannon Lake processor. So those in the audience who know a bit about CPUs, obviously we've been on 14 nanometer for several years now. We've gone through some iterations. 14 nanometer plus is the latest. Intel has said that they're not going to be releasing 10 nanometer upgrade until 2019. Now this is not good because AMD is going to be releasing 7 nanometer basically at the beginning of 2019, and this is going to give AMD a 6 to 8 month advantage. And now what this means in the processor space is that large corporations usually buy CPUs in pallets, like pallet worths, especially big corporations like for example, internet service providers, Google, Amazon, etc. They'd buy thousands of these things. Now, when you're looking at working as, say, what's our next upgrade cycle, what tends to happen is that there's usually a 1 year lead time on this. And so this is why Intel's share price went down so much and AMD's went up, is because this is based on projection. They're going to project how the company's going to do over time. And when a company like Amazon, which is going to go, okay, in say a year, we're going to upgrade our stuff. Now what's going to happen is they're going to have AMD processors coming in at a higher performance than Intel. And they're going to go, you know what, our next processors should be AMD EPYC processors, which are going to be better. So I tend to think that it's not the only reason the Intel CEO was kicked out. I tend to think that the fact that the CEO has been underperforming and the company is seeing more delays, and this is not good for the company. Just also bring up another thing too, is that AMD is not the only company that's going to have 7 nanometers soon. We're also going to see the Radeons coming out with this, according to WCCF Tech. And another thing is Global Foundries also is involved with other companies. They make processors, they make chips, and all these things for other companies too. We should see 7 nanometer in mobile phones. We should see it in any other chip companies that use Global Foundries for their silicon production. And again, this is not good for Intel, because if that's all they can do with their own fabricators. See, Intel has its own fabricators, and Samsung. They're the only companies in the world that have these. Now, everyone else goes through Global Foundries. With Intel, the fact is that if Intel starts to underperform in selling their chips, then they will underutilize their fabricators. And what will happen is that because no one else uses them, they will begin to cost them money, not make them money. And Intel could stand to lose billions of dollars if they don't fix this. So what are your thoughts, Nonpartisan?
So you say it's going to affect mobile phones. What does iPhone and all that use? Do you know? That
Sorry?
uses iPhone. iPhones use the Apple chip, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they use Global Foundries, so Apple stands to look at being able to access 7 nanometer. Yeah.
But would that work?
Intel's fabricators only make Intel stuff.
Yeah, but would the Global Foundries also work with Apple, or like the Intel, the chips that you're saying they're talking about they're using is the AMD chip? Would an AMD chip style work in an iPhone?
No.
No.
So Intel has their own fabricators.
Yeah.
And what I was saying there is that if Intel is going to delay
I heard
the end of 2019.
Yeah. I got all that. I got all that. Yeah. My argument is I'm trying to figure out how much of the market share they're set to lose. Obviously, this is a blow for Intel. They're going to lose market share. So my question is while yes, computers is obviously it's going to hurt them badly. Do phones like iPhone and whatnot, are they using the AMD or Intel chips, or do they use the Apple chipset? They would use that, wouldn't they?
Apple phones use Apple chipsets only in the iPhone.
Yeah, right.
Everyone else is using ARM chipsets.
Yeah.
The thing is that Apple also uses ARM chipsets as well. Yeah. ARM is in everything, including iPhones. What has to happen is that companies like Huawei, Samsung, Apple, they will design their own chipset based on ARM, and they do it by licensing the technology from ARM.
All
right. Or, for example, like some companies, they use Snapdragon. That's actually licensing. That's actually buying the chip from Qualcomm, who licenses it from ARM. These chips are all made at Global Foundries too.
Okay.
So Apple and Samsung and all the rest of them, they'll get better chips as well at 7 nanometer.
It's going to cost them. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt.
Basically,
Intel.
Global Foundries. Yeah, this shows that Global Foundries is currently more successful than Intel at the moment with their silicon production capabilities.
Yeah. And
Intel should not find itself in this position. Whatever Intel's been doing wrong for the last few years, I can see why Brian Krzanich, Chief Executive Officer Intel, is not there anymore. I doubt that it's just because he was having an affair.
No, I would say it's more the fact that they're looking at his performance and saying, well, dude, look, you're screwing some other chick, you're having a bad day, it's an affair, it's bad on the company, plus you can't seem to make chips if your life depends on it, and at the end of the day, we're a chip manufacturing facility. We need decent chips. This is going to hurt them badly. This is really going to screw over Intel.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What? Sorry.
Yeah. Jason Frey says, "You rape what you sow." Yeah. Anyway.
I missed that comment. So like even the comments aren't showing up on my screen anymore. Oh, I got him saying the state of the women. But yeah, I got nothing after Greg saying I was kidding. But anyway. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, I really do think this is going to hurt Intel, and at the end of the day, they need to keep on top of this. They need to keep their shit together, and they need to be sorting this out. This is you can't have opposition that has chips that are severely better than you. But how much of a difference are we talking about with benchmarks here? Is there going to be a big difference?
Yeah, so when it comes to the chip density, the way you increase your IPC is, well, first of all, obviously, you make improvements to the way the chip works. Obviously, Intel has done an incredible job of, squeezing, nearly 60 to 80% more performance at 14 nanometer from when they started. The thing is that the smaller you get the transistors and the more transistor density you get, the faster the electrons can move point A to point B, and that increases your IPC. That's why node reductions equal higher performance. When AMD goes to 7 nanometer, the IPC versus Intel at 14 is basically double. You double the performance.
Okay.
Now, Intel has made the argument that Intel's 10 nanometer is going to have more transistor density than AMD's, but I think that's just them trying to save face.
Maybe.
At the end of the day, 7 nanometer is half the size of 14 nanometer.
Yeah.
So you will get a 100 performance IPC gain. And at the moment, okay, Ryzen at 14 versus Intel at 14, Intel's only got about 5 to 20% out performance gains, IPC, depending on the task. So if Ryzen goes to 7 nanometer and gets double the performance, Intel falls behind by about 80%.
At the end of the day, I think the best thing, obviously we'll know the full disclosure of this when we're able to get two chips of the same size and put them together, run them on systems and do benchmarks. That will obviously be the proof of the pudding. But yeah, I definitely see this as a way of screwing. Intel's got screwed over.
Yeah.